So yesterday we talked about Henry Cavill and his comments about the hashtag MeToo movement. If you didn't get a chance to watch that video, essentially what Henry Cavill said is that the hashtag MeToo movement has prevented men from wanting to pursue women in the traditional sense. It's prevented men from having that desire to go out with women or want to approach them because of the fear that they might accuse you of sexual assault. Now, what Henry Cavill said, in my opinion, is completely reasonable. It's completely logical too. It doesn't seem like anything. It doesn't seem like a crazy thought by any means. But of course, in the world that we live in, Henry Cavill's comments were completely misinterpreted, and he was blasted by the feminists and by the media for almost being like an apologist to the hashtag MeToo movement and of these people that committed sexual assault. Now, I just came across another story today of someone that was accused of doing something that he never did. And of course, he lost his job, his life was completely ruined, but that is the whole point of this hashtag MeToo thing. It's now given women the power, if they want to levy an anonymous accusation. It doesn't even have to be a public accusation. It can be anonymous. You don't even have to say your name, against somebody that they don't like. And it could be even 10 or 20 years later. And you could, or you will have an extremely good chance of completely ruining that person's life. So anyways, guys, I thought I'd share this video with you here today and this next news story about what happened to one man who had this happen to him. So the story centers around a guy named Jeremy Dodds. He's 43, he's from Montreal, and he was a well-known Canadian poet who worked part-time for a publishing company called Coach House Books in Toronto. Now, Dodds was the subject of, or his name was the subject of a list, which was supposed to warn other people about shitty media men. That was the title of the list. And in that list, Jeremy Dodds was accused of sexually exploiting women by using his literary prominence. Now, there's a few red flags already there, but we'll keep on going. Of course, Jeremy Dodds knew that this was not real. This was a conspiracy theory against him to try and discredit him and ruin his career. But the allegations against Dodd really picked up steam when, of course, the newspapers started to report on it. Now, this is the main problem that we have here with the hashtag MeToo movement. There is blind faith in believing the accuser of whatever they're saying. And that's exactly what happened in this case. Because some of the major newspapers, like the Globe and Mail and the Toronto Star, picked up this story and mimicked the claims of the 4 anonymous women who made the claim, and echoed that Jeremy Dodds was in fact a sexual assaulter. Now, the news stories left the impression that he had pressured younger women into having sex with him, which again is completely not true. But again, the main problem here is that these newspapers, instead of kind of looking into the story, or at least not passing judgment until some more information came out, they decided that they were just going to blindly believe the accusers and write whatever they wanted. Now, the main point of the story here is that after these allegations were made and the newspapers began to report on it, Dodds knew that he had to do something. Obviously, you couldn't just let this pass and try to hope for the best. So Dodds is suing these newspapers for defamation, and he's claimed that he's experienced a catastrophic loss of professional and personal reputation, loss of income, mental anguish, and irreparable damage to his future. He's also explained that because of these stories that were written about him, these fake stories that were made to slander him and discredit him, because these stories are online, this shame and the effect of the accusations will continue in perpetuity, which is something that obviously it's going to take a lifetime to get over. So at least he is trying to take things into his own hands. But guys, I just wanted to report on this story because it feels like we've let the Me Too movement get to a point where everyone just places blind faith in the accusers, and we can't do that. You need more information.